Hello, I'm Nikki Sinclaire, UKIP MEP for the West Midlands, although I'm not. From a few days ago, the NEC of the UKIP decided that I was no longer to be a UKIP MEP. I wasn't allowed to use the party name, use the party logo, use the party infrastructure, or call myself a UKIP MEP in the media, or even stand as a general election candidate, despite my branch in Solihull and Meriden giving me unanimous support, wishing me to be their general election candidate. Some of you may know the reasons why, most of you won't. So I'm going to take this opportunity to explain what has happened. Shortly after Malcolm Pearson became leader of UKIP, I had dinner with him and I discussed my reservations about being in the EFD group in the European Parliament. My problems with being in this group were the fact that there are parties that were more of a similar ilk to the BNP, such as they had strong racist, homophobic, anti-Semitic views. But what was even more troubling is that some of these parties actually believed in the European Union. Indeed, the Italian Lega Nord were the actual sponsors of the Lisbon Treaty through the Italian Parliament. And I just couldn't understand why we in UKIP were linked with such people. And moreover, as actually even being a part of this group, we actually allow these other parties to actually make EU law by giving them our quota of points, which allows them things to buy for things like legislative reports. So these become EU laws on the back of UKIP representation within this EFD group. Malcolm Lord Pearson expressed to me that he didn't see any problem whatsoever of me leaving the group. I could sit wherever I wanted. All that mattered to him, and quite rightly, was what I did in the UK. And it was essential that we continue to work towards the general election, a stance that I wholeheartedly agree with. He wanted to check his facts with a few other people, and that he did. And then over a few phone calls throughout December and early January, he assured me that I could leave the EFD group and continue as a UKIP MEP. Imagine my surprise in January, when I learnt that my office had been raided, that I was no longer able to call myself a UKIP MEP, etc., etc. The same draconian procedures that I once again face. It was decided at the following NEC that these matters would be relaxed and Lord Pearson would speak with me. And as with any negotiations, there was some to-ing and fro-ing. But on Friday the 19th of February, Malcolm Pearson came up to Birmingham and had lunch with me and my fellow UKIP MEP, Mike Nattrass. At that meeting, which was a very positive meeting, we discussed the general election, we discussed what had happened, and it was decided that I would be able to continue within UKIP, indeed so much so that he actually discussed the possibility of me being a party spokesman, perhaps on health. It was my understanding, and that of Mike Nattrass, that the matter had finally been settled. Imagine to my shock and horror and great disappointment, some 5 days later, that I found that Lord Pearson had reneged on this. So here we are now. The party has issued a statement on the national website saying that I'm not a team player, but I don't get on with people in the West Midlands. I find this considerably hurtful. I've been chairman of the West Midlands, campaign manager in the European election, which has achieved UKIP's highest increase of vote of anywhere in the country. We worked as a team, Saturday mornings leafleting, from months and months prior to the election. This was a complete team effort here in the West Midlands. And since I've become an MEP, I've worked with branches promoting the cause, and I just do not recognise these unfounded accusations. I've already stated that I have the unanimous support of my branch in Solihull and Meriden. Indeed, it was the NEC that prevented me from working with the regional committee. The last 2 committee meetings I was unable to attend. Prior to those 2, I had attended every single regional committee meeting for over 3 years. There has been no motion of no confidence against me. And every branch meeting or county meeting that I've attended since January has expressed their wholehearted support. Incidentally, may I take this opportunity to thank all those that have sent emails and letters expressing their support. I've since found out that some meetings were organised behind my back, and there's much information, many smears, which again, after 16 years of service, is disappointing. However, I feel I owe a duty to the people of the West Midlands. These people voted for UKIP. They didn't vote for the EFD group. They voted for a party to say no to the European Union. They wanted to send people to Brussels to speak for them, to say that they've had enough of being governed by the European Union. And I want to keep that promise. Unfortunately, it is UKIP that's broken its contract with the people of the West Midlands. They have removed the UKIP MEP. I will continue to say no to the European Union and represent 5 million people's interests in a region that has been severely affected by the European Union, with manufacturing being decimated, with the highest unemployment in the UK at 9.6%. So, there I am. I will continue to move forward. I will stand for election, for general election. I will continue to stand for my principles, which brought me into this party all those years ago. And I want to thank you once again for your support, and maybe, hopefully, work with you again. Thank you.